The Stations of the Cross are being presented by the 8th graders from St. Michael's Catholic School. We ask that you join us for this prayer experience. Please take this moment to silence all cell phones and any other electronic devices. Also, please refrain from taking pictures at the end of each station. Thank you for preparing the environment for this powerful experience. You will hear the narrator say, "And we pray." Please respond by saying, "God of love, open our hearts." Please try that with me once, and we pray. God of love, open our hearts. Let us take this moment of quiet reflection before we begin. The first station, Jesus is condemned. Every day in our world, people are condemned. We hear about it on the evening news or read about it online. People face discrimination for their race, ethnicity, national origin, gender, religion, disability, or age. Every time that someone is made to feel different, unwelcome, or unwanted, they are being condemned. It happens at school too. There are kids who are constantly the focus of jokes or excluded. They look, speak, or act differently. They don't fit in. Jesus didn't fit in. He did and said things that upset the people in power. The religious leaders wanted him out of the way. Pilate, the man who made the final decision, went along with them, and so Jesus was condemned to die on the cross. Jesus, forgive us for the times we have condemned you and others through our actions, our words, our silence, and our indifference. Help us to love you and welcome all ours as you did. Teach us how to follow you, and we pray. God of love, open our hearts.
The second station, Jesus carries the cross. All around us, people are carrying heavy burdens. We know about some of these burdens, like the ones our parents carry, but we ignore them. We don't know about other burdens, like the ones our teachers or classmates carry, but we never seek to understand. On the news, we hear about the problems of others all over the world, like war, starvation, and injustice. But it's hard to care about things happening to strangers so far away. We allow ourselves to be blind and deaf to their pain. It's easier that way. We have enough to do just taking care of ourselves. Jesus was forced to carry the burden on the cross. Surely there were those in the crowd who knew him. They say the soldiers dropped the cross on his shoulders, were afraid and worried about themselves. They didn't protest the rough treatment he received. No one came forward. Jesus, forgive us for the times we walked away from the burdens of others. Help us to stop being blind and deaf to their pain and do something to help. Teach us how to follow you, and we pray, God of love, open our hearts. The third station, Jesus falls the first time. The worst thing that can happen to us is to fail in front of others. When we do or say something foolish, when we're not accepted for who we are, when we're laughed at for not fitting in. To be shut out is the worst way to fail. At school events, we know there are kids who are on the outside looking in, but we don't invite them in with us. We worry about what our friends would think. Jesus fell in front of the soldiers and people who believed in him. He was in this situation because he spoke out and took the risk to help others. Look where it got him. What must he have been thinking as he lost control and fell under the weight of the cross? Jesus, forgive us for the times we have shut out others and refused to assist them. Help us to be aware of their needs. Teach us how to follow you. And we pray, God of love, open our hearts.
The fourth station, Jesus meets his mother. Parents expect so much of us. They want us to succeed. They want us to get good grades, that we will have good friends, that we won't lie or cheat or steal, that we will always make the right decisions and tell the truth. We want our parents to be proud of us. We don't want them to know about some of the things we do. Mary wanted Jesus to succeed. She wanted people to accept him, to believe in him, to love him. Now she sees him carrying a criminal's cross. Did she think that he was guilty, that he was a failure, or did she love and support him? Jesus, forgive us in the times that we do not honor or listen to our parents. Help us to be grateful for their love and support. Teach us how to follow you. And we pray, God of love, open our hearts.
The fifth station, Simon helps Jesus. Sometimes a teacher makes us sit next to someone who is so different from us, or makes us work with someone who isn't in our group of friends. We don't stop to think about that person's feelings. We only care about how it makes us feel, and how it looks to our friends. What if they thought we were friends with this person who is so different? So it was with Simon. Why was he, a foreigner, chosen to help the so-called criminal carry this cross? Would people think he was a criminal too? He was probably embarrassed and humiliated to be forced into this situation. Was there a moment when he looked past his own feelings and looked at Jesus with compassion? Jesus, forgive us for the times we have hurt others by not caring how they feel. Show us how to love and be compassionate. Teach us how to follow you. And we pray, God of love, open our hearts.
The sixth station. Veronica wipes the face of Jesus. There are people who refuse to follow the crowd. When those around them are drinking, smoking, telling hurtful jokes, or tearing someone down, this person speaks up. This person says, "Hey, this isn't right, this isn't good. I refuse to go along." This person will not bow down to peer pressure. Veronica did not follow the crowd. Her sympathy overcame her fear, and she came forward to lift the blood and sweat from Jesus' face. She didn't stop to think about the consequences. At that moment, she only thought about the needs of Jesus. Jesus, forgive us for the times we didn't stand up for what was right. Help us to learn to accept the truth about ourselves and the things we do. Teach us how to follow you, and we pray, God of love, open our hearts.
The seventh station, Jesus falls again. Failure is a terrible thing. None of us want to be a failure, especially in the eyes of our friends. We are concerned about what our friends think, and we work hard to be good friends. But sometimes they fail us. They don't stand by us when we need them, in spite of all our efforts to please them. When Jesus fell again, what were his concerns? Was he worried about what his friends thought? And where were his friends? Why didn't any of them step forward on his behalf? Was he angry or hurt? What was he thinking as he fell to the ground a second time? Jesus, forgive us for the times we have failed to be there for others when they needed us. Help us to be as caring for you as you are for us. Teach us how to follow you, and we pray, God of love, open our hearts.
The eighth station, the women weep for Jesus. Sometimes a crowd mentality takes over at school, on the bus, at a party, or sports game. Things we would never do seem okay when everyone else is doing them. We tend to cheer louder, dance harder, act crazier, mistreat others, and break rules or laws when we are in a crowd. The women in the crowd who loved Jesus were crying because the situation called for tears. The crowd was stirred up and noisy. Frightening things were going on. The women were too curious to leave, but too afraid to remain silent. So they cried. As Jesus passed by, he heard them. He told them to stop their crying for him and to weep instead for the evil being done. He asked them to follow their hearts and not the crowd. Jesus, forgive us for the times we have gone along with the crowd instead of taking responsibility for our own actions. Help us to control what we think and do. Teach us how to follow you. And we pray, God of love, open our hearts.
The ninth station, Jesus falls the third time. To be made fun of is bad enough, and to have it happen over and over is torture. Yet there are people in our school, on our bus, or in our neighborhood who are made fun of or bullied all the time. And sometimes we do it too. We think that these people don't fit in. They don't belong. So it's okay. Everyone does it. Everyone sees how different they are. They fall down in front of us, and we just keep knocking them down again and again and again. Jesus fell 3 times with a cross on his shoulders with all those people watching. What were they thinking? He had helped so many of them, but none of them had the courage to come forward and help him. Were they afraid, or was it that Jesus was no longer one of them, so they let him fall? Jesus, forgive us for the times we have made fun of others. Give us the courage to lift them up when they fall, even if they are different from us. Teach us how to follow you. And we pray, God of love, open our hearts. The 10th station, Jesus is stripped. Clothes are a big part of our lives. Trendy clothes cost a lot, sometimes more than our parents can afford. But we insist on having them. We want to look right. Without the right clothing, we're afraid we won't fit in. Jesus was stripped of his clothing in front of a whole crowd of people. He stood there without the comfort and security of his clothes. He was stripped of his dignity like a common criminal. Without his clothes, how must he have felt? Jesus, forgive us for the times we have valued material things over people. Help us to never value designer labels or status more than the needs of others. Teach us how to follow you. And we pray, God of love, open our hearts.
The 11th station, Jesus is nailed to the cross. At times, we do the wrong thing. We say hateful things about people who look different than us, who come from a different country, who have a different faith, or have different views. We are afraid of them and their perceived differences. We decide that they are wrong and that we are better. We join others who laugh at them, who hate them, and who spread lies. In our hearts, we know it is wrong, but we go along with it anyway. Jesus was the victim of hate, fear, and jealousy because he was different. He had stirred the people up. He had said and done different things. He spoke the truth. He accepted all people exactly as they were without thinking of their differences. Now he was paying the price. There must have been those in the crowd who knew this was wrong, but they went along with the way things were. They all stood by and let Jesus be nailed to the cross. Jesus, Forgive us for the times we have nailed others to the cross because they were different. Show us how to love and value all people just as you did. Teach us how to follow you. And we pray, God of love, open our hearts. The 12th station, Jesus dies on the cross. We all think about dying from time to time. It's a thought that comes to us when everything seems to be going wrong. When a loved one rejects us, when our grades are slipping, when we disappoint our parents or teachers, or when we can't seem to do anything right. We are tempted to believe that death is easier than facing our problems. Is this what Jesus was feeling as he died? Was he hoping to get it over with, or was he worried about his friends, his mother, or his followers? Was he angry at God and at life? What did he mean when he said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do"? Was he so forgiving that he could pray for those who hurt him, who took his life? Jesus, forgive us for the times we gave up too easily because we were only thinking of ourselves. Share with us the ability to forgive others for the hurt they have caused us. Teach us how to follow you. And we pray, God of love, open our hearts.
The 13th station. Jesus is taken down from the cross. Sometimes we recognize a lost cause, a sports team that never wins, a band that can't make good music, a friendship that is completely broken. We don't want to be part of a lost cause, but sometimes we are. We're on that losing team, or in that band, or part of that friendship. What then? Joseph of Arimathea, a secret follower of Jesus who was afraid of the leaders, finally came forward after Jesus had died. What made it? He claimed the body of Jesus. What made him do it? Wasn't he still afraid of being a part of a lost cause? Jesus, forgive us for the times that we walk away from painful situations and people. Give us the courage to act on our beliefs no matter how afraid we feel. Teach us how to follow you. And we pray, God of love, open our hearts.
The 14th station, Jesus is placed in the tomb. When we have worked hard at something, we expect to be rewarded with a good grade, praise from our parents, cheers from our friends. We want to be recognized for the hard work we have done and base our sense of accomplishment on the reactions of others. We want to feel that we have accomplished something worthwhile. Jesus spent his life preaching, healing, and helping others. He promised good things to those who followed him. He died on the cross, and it seemed that he was not rewarded for the good that he had done. At this moment of sorrow and death, his followers had abandoned him. He was buried in another man's grave. Jesus, forgive us for the times we have measured our success by the applause and praise of others. Help us to look beneath the surface of things with the eyes of faith. Teach us how to follow you. And we pray, God of love, open our hearts. Dear Jesus, as your followers, we know that rejection, loss, and even dying in death do not mean failure. With your help, we can move through these experiences to new life and resurrection. We can be turned around as you were. Give us the courage to accept that life will always have its light and darkness, its joys and sorrows. Jesus, we know that your story did not end on Good Friday, so we go now in peace to await the resurrection.